Reverend Warnock, we all know the polling in both of these races has been razor thin, and I actually was looking at the numbers from the November general election today, and the difference between the Republican votes and the Democrat votes was just more than 47,000. But then if you analyze the other votes, there's a difference of about 3,000 between the left-leaning votes and the right-leaning votes. So what are you hearing internally from your people that makes you believe you can make up that gap?
Listen, I'm doing the same thing that I do every Sunday morning. I'm making my case and for what I believe. And the wonderful thing about a democracy is tonight is all about the people. They get to speak. The people have spoken are the four most powerful words of a democracy. And I trust the verdict and will respect the verdict, which is not something that we're witnessing, unfortunately, in a moment like this in the highest levels of our government. And unfortunately, that's being aided and abetted by my opponent, Kelly Loeffler. And so what I want to say to the people of Georgia is you need a senator who actually respects your voice and who respects your vote and who will be thinking about you and your interests and your family rather than their own short-term political interests when they go to Washington.
And obviously, when you say something like that, it leads to the divided state of our state, so to speak. And Georgia's become sort of a microcosm of the country with how divided it is. So if you wake up tomorrow as a U.S. Senator, and you just mentioned Senator Loeffler, what assurances can you give her supporters or and anybody who didn't vote for you, who may be afraid of one-party control either way of the presidency, House, and Senate, that you will also be their senator?
You know, one of the things that I've learned from being a pastor is that it's really the people who teach you how to be a good pastor, more than seminary training, more than anything else. And it's really the people who teach you how to be an effective senator. You have to spend time among the people, walk among the people, hear their concerns, and with humility listen. Listen to people who come from various walks of life. And so in that spirit, I've been very intentional during this campaign to make my way all across the state. You know, I drop in these small rural towns, and the people are surprised to see me. And I'm surprised that they're surprised. And I ask why, and why are you surprised? And they say, well, we're not used to somebody running for the Senate, let alone serving in the Senate, dropping by our little town. And that's interesting to me because it never occurred to me that I would try to be a United States Senator who doesn't talk to all the people in the state of Georgia. It's not trying to represent their interests. I have a long history of bringing people together, and that's what I'll do in Washington.
Well, by my count, we have about 2 minutes left, so I do have two more questions for you.
Sure.
You live in Georgia, as do I. Those of us who live in Georgia have seen every political ad so many times now that I think we all know them by heart. Is there one about you that bothers you and to which you would like to take this opportunity to respond?
I mean, there have been so many lies told on me, I don't know where to start. Kelly Loeffler has run the most negative campaign in Georgia history. And I think that in and of itself is a message to the voters. She has clearly made a decision that she can't make a case for why she should be elected to the seat to which she's appointed. I think it's a message in and of itself if a politician will not try to defend their own record. She doesn't have a record to defend. It's indefensible that when she heard about the coronavirus pandemic, she was more focused on sheltering her own investments rather than the people who were sheltering in. And now she will face their verdict. And we are deeply hopeful, and I look forward to the opportunity of representing the people of Georgia in the U.S. Senate.
Last question for you. I'm not sure there is an undecided voter left in the state at this hour. We are recording this 3 hours before the polls close. But if there is, what would be your closing argument to them?
You know, I think that the way to see what someone will do in office is to examine what they were up to, what they were actually doing before they even ran. And I've spent my whole life committed to service. My life's project is to make a difference in the lives of ordinary people. Kelly Loeffler's life project has been to make money. Now, there's really nothing wrong with that. I just think that you shouldn't use the people's Senate seat to try to do it. During the Great Recession, I was building a community center at my church that has a financial center that was focused on helping people to start small businesses, turning renters into homeowners, helping people repair their credit. During the same recession, Kelly Loeffler's family company was focused on teaching the largest banks in our country how to hide their assets on the Cayman Islands to avoid taxes. She was looking out for wealthy and well-connected people before she went to the Senate, and she has used the People's Senate seat to do the same thing. Look out for people like her. Kelly's for Kelly. If you want someone who's thinking about you and your family, I'd be deeply honored to represent you in the U.S. Senate.